In the early 1980s, we didn't have at-home video game technology to satisfy the average gamer. If you wanted to play really cool video games with the latest technology and the best graphics, you had to head down to your local video game arcade. Now, these places were all the rage of the 1980s. Tons of games, pizza, sodas, and a social experience to die for. The video game arcade was where you'd find all the cool kids. In early 1981, in the various suburbs of Portland, Oregon, a new game would appear in local arcades. The game was called Polybius. It was an unheard of new arcade game, which was a rarity at the time. So when something new came out, kids would come from miles around to give it a whirl. The game immediately became popular to the point of being described as addictive. Lines formed around the block, with so many kids gathered around the machine that fistfights began ensuing about which player was truly going to go next. People started to notice that the games were being visited near closing hours in the arcades by what can only be described as men in black. The black-suited government agent types who seemed to be retrieving data from the game. They were visiting the Polybius game, and only the Polybius game. Now, legend has it that the men in black were collecting data from the machines that tested responses to the game's psychoactive effects. After a few weeks of gameplay, players began complaining of unpleasant side effects, including seizures, amnesia, insomnia, night terrors, and hallucinations. People suddenly began asking arcade owners questions about the origin of the game. Once a news media source took interest, the game suddenly disappeared as quickly as they had arrived. Approximately 1 month after the debut, Polybius simply disappeared without a trace. The company name associated with most orders for the machines from arcade owners was sinister. The word is described by writer Brian Dunning as a word constructed outside the norms of the German language, but the meaning translates to sense delete or sensory deprivation. There are indeed many people who claim to have played the game and suffered the side effects. Some people claim to remember the game, but say they never experienced any negative side effects. However, here is the strangest part of this story yet. It seems that the game has fallen victim to the Mandela effect phenomenon. The legend of Polybius is mostly regarded as an urban legend these days. The common belief is that the game never actually existed and is simply an old wives' tale that got passed down through the years. When you research the subject, most sites credit the game as an urban legend, even though there are people who claim to have actually played the game. So did the game even exist? And if so, what was the point? Some people think the game may have been an extension of the CIA's mind control experiments, branching out from the MK Ultra mind control project. Was Polybius an experiment on the human mind? Have you guys ever even heard of the game? Or have you or has anyone you know ever claimed to have played the game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And, as always, follow Quick Note Conspiracies. We are now on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Also, be sure to follow my backup page, Quick Note Conspiracies 2. That's with a T-O-O. Thanks, guys. Until next time.